and I welcome you to our fourth session or fourth meeting in the spring of 2022 to the Early Bird Achievers Club. And I'm glad and happy to see you all back again. I think Johan wanted to join us as well, but he sent me a message last night that he needed to take an early flight, so he cannot be with us. So I would like seamlessly to continue where we finished last week. Last week, our motto was leading from within, and means leading with heart and gut, or heart and mind. So I would like to continue with this, excuse me, it's my hay fever, probably. Leading from within and speaking from the heart. I had a conversation last week, very eventful week last week. By the way, I would like to share wonderful news. My son, my younger son, Marcus, he passed his examination as a motorcycle instructor. So he is now a motorcycle instructor, and that's part of the dream, his dream of things that he wanted to achieve in his journey. And we had a very interesting conversation last night about the similarities between coaching and riding a motorbike. And we found, I found the inspiration came from something I read in a post on LinkedIn, where somebody spoke about the flow state that you can have when you are in the coaching process. And this guy also rides a motorbike, and he says, well, when I'm on my motorbike, there's a similar state. And when my son heard this, he said, well, this is exactly what I feel. Riding a motorbike gets you into a flow state, and not in a silly way when you're responsible. And he is 29, he's not a boy rider anymore. But you're also, all the time when you're cruising, you're aware of your self-care and of your self-protection, as well of caring for others. But I was really, really happy to see there are similarities. And during the conversation, I mentioned about T-back, and I remembered something that Edina and I had discussed a few days ago. And there was this idea when somebody said, why don't you call it a social entrepreneur mastermind? Now, I'll leave it to you to judge if you like the idea or not. There is something about the idea that I like. There is something that makes me doubt a little bit. But it has nothing to do with the content, more to do with the wordings. But before we go into depth now, I invite you one more time for a nice big stretch. Oh. And you feel how it, how you can relax your shoulders. And the neck, you might feel the one or the other little twitch from last night, from lying the wrong way on the pillow. I hope you have your favorite drink with you, the one that smells good and tastes good. I'm on the second cup of tea now, because I had to wake up an hour earlier today. And what I would like to invite you is one thing: take ownership of your day, and let's remind ourselves that every day is an opportunity for a new beginning. So today is an opportunity for a new beginning, and there won't be any 2nd of May 2022 anymore. So use this day and let's make the best of it. Now, the thing that came to my mind was recalling a conversation with a friend that I had about 10, 15 years ago. And we talked about business in general and language in business. And she said something remarkable, and I still have it in my ears. With the voice, she said, today in business, it's all about bullshitting. There is nothing serious, there's no honesty in business anymore. So it's all BS, and I say BS now, you know what I mean. Otherwise, if I repeat the original word too much, maybe we get problems with Spotify when we put this one on the audio on the podcast. So it's everything about creating an impression, but with no substance behind it. And she said, you can bullshit, and you can even survive with bullshitting, but you have to do it convincingly. And when I look around nowadays, I see so many people around me and also producing content everywhere where I think, oh my God, what a BS. But it's maybe kind of convincing. The other thing is, what we know now is organizational bullshit. Sorry, it's not my phrase. I found it by doing some research for today's meeting. Organizational bullshit makes people ill. It leads over time to something that in a clinical psychological way you would describe as a pre-burnout state or stage. And this is something, don't read it all. I don't want to read it all. This is seriously, there is a study by the University of Vancouver, by one of 2 or 3 universities in Vancouver, who did research on the OBPS. And so it is a reality that the language in business is alienating people. It's distracting people from their purpose. And it's leading people into a state where they think, I don't understand, but I have to play that game, even if I don't really understand what the language is about. And we know this, we have so many languages, specialist languages, linguists in so many areas. And I struggle sometimes when I read an article, I struggle, what are they talking about? What is the meaning of this? And then I thought, when it brings people really close to a burnout, it reminded me of a piece of research by this wonderful lady, Sigal Golden Barsad, who passed sadly away earlier this year in February. She wrote as early as in 2000 about the study of how affect means the touch of emotion and the touch of feelings, emotions, have an influence on organizations and people in organizations. And she said, affect, or the lack of affect, has such a big impact on business critical organizational outcomes. So that all the study that we do now in emotional intelligence and leadership skills and all these things are justified to do. Now, but what is it about this business BS that is so disturbing? And I think one important thing that comes to mind is this language consists mainly of nouns, of words, of labels. We talk about digitization, democratization, Asian, authenticity. We use nouns and nouns and nouns, but our language Nouns are not language from the heart. Nouns are labels. Nouns are labels that you put on something. They don't describe a process, they describe a result or a state or a concept, more or less full or empty of soul. When you think about children, children form language through activity. Children, when we were children, we formed our language step by step through play, through activity. I remember little children, when they first could speak and they wanted something, there was this word, play, play, play. I want to play, spielen in German. Yeah? Or activities, and the other thing is relationships. The first words, mommy, daddy, wow, wow, only things. These are much more heartfelt emotional labels than a word like globalization, democratization, what knows what. It means something. It expresses a wonderful relationship. So the language that comes from the heart expresses activity. And when we use in our speaking day by day words, I propose to you, just try for 3 days. When you think, oh, I made the decision to not to buy that car, think again, think, okay, I decided, or I concluded. So be aware of the process and how when somebody tells me I make a decision, my first question is, how did you decide? What was influencing you when you were deciding? Be aware of the process, be aware of what's happening in your conscious and your unconscious mind. That's also important for heart language. John Grinder used to say, the unconscious mind, I say the unconscious mind, I use it as in a synonymous way now. He says, the unconscious mind is a place that's full of relationships and activities, of relationships and verbs. The unconscious mind doesn't know any nouns. So, and as we spend 90% of our brain activity in our unconscious mind, it's worthwhile to use words that express relationships, words that express activities in our language, in our way of speaking, and in our way of thinking. And now I invite you to go meditating with Edina.
Thank you, Walter. Just let's begin by closing your eyes and getting comfortable, everyone. Make the chair feel comfy and making yourself feel as you are grounding into it. Ease and calmness. Any position is okay till you feel comfortable. Take a deep breath in, a cleansing breath in, just by inviting the beautiful newness of your day into your body. And exhale it all the way out and making your breath coming into a natural rhythm. Your attention starts slowly coming inward. And by doing so, you can take a second to notice the air touching your skin. See, is there any noise around you? And just simply feel the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe in the newness and just breathe out the coldness. be here, right now, right in this moment. Noticing whenever one thing is coming to you, something is coming up. And just letting go, coming back to a present moment. You have the opportunity to start fresh, right here, right now. Leading from within, speaking from the heart. To invite in love, gratitude, and joy. And to give kindness, love. All those sources are inside of you. It's up to you to take ownership of your day. So just take a deep breath in and feel the deep warmth at the center of you. Every day is a new day, and every day is a new beginning. Feel yourself smile by just recognizing that it's you, your own personal spark, because you are leading from within, and you are always speaking from your heart. As you bring your attention to your breath, just imagine how the oxygen is giving you more and more opportunities to spark, to see the new beginnings, to brighten every day like a new day with lots of colors. Everything is radiating around you, the reds, the blues, the greens, the yellows, purples. Just feel the lightness. Feel how you spark, because you are a beautiful person. Your spark can help spark somebody else. You can take this spark every day to every situation you touch, you live, you imagine. Just imagine yourself stepping always into that light, because you are meant to spark and shine. Just deep breaths by acknowledging that present, and the breath out. And start slowly acknowledging the present by remaining in this spark shining state, because you're gonna welcome the new day as you're gonna gently open your eyes, bringing hands to your heart and feeling this time which you created just for you, just here and just now. And the time is right, just open your eyes. Start being with us. And you can start with a big stretch, so you even better feel that you are back in the present. And remember to continue breathing. And as you do, just start slowly. Let's turn our head to the right by starting our lovely Rosenberg exercise. And slowly back to the front. Remember to keep breathing, and now let's turn your head to the left and feel the stretch. And slowly back to the front. Now let's try to reach the sky, which has no limits. And just making a nice chair for your head from your hands. And remember, we don't turn our heads, just with our eyes. Let's take a look at our right elbow. Take your side on the right and keep breathing. Now let's take your side back to the front. Back from the front. Now let's take a look at your left elbow. And keep breathing. And now bring your side back to the front. And release your arms. Now we're going to take our side on the right. Keeping your side on the right, start slowly moving your head towards your right shoulder. Keeping your side on the right. And slowly back up. Now taking your side on the left. Keeping your side on the left. So slowly moving your head towards your left shoulder. Keeping your side on the left. And slowly back up. We're going to do it vice versa. Take your side on the right. Keeping your side on the right. So slowly moving your head towards your left shoulder. Keeping your side on the right. And slowly back up. Now taking your side on the left. Keeping your side on the left. Start slowly moving your head towards your right shoulder. Keeping your side on the left. And back up. Warm up your hands. Hold the love, hold the warm. Just put it on your cheek, under your eyes. And remember to always shine your spark within, because you are leading from within. And just follow your heart and listen to it. Have a blissful day, everyone, and a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Edina, and thank you all for being here. And as